So out of all of the riding gear that you can possibly buy, in my opinion, one of the most important is boots. As I've learned the hard way, your lower limbs are the most vulnerable part on your body while riding. It is often overlooked by beginner riders that haven't learned the hard way yet, but you really need to protect not only your feet, but your ankles and shins. Knees are a whole different subject. I've already made videos about knee guards, braces, and what I currently use, but I figured it was time to give an update on what boots I am wearing. Now there are several different categories of boots. You have street riding boots that will often look like casual boots with more protection. You have dual sport, adventure boots, which I'll talk about here in a second. Now if you want the most protective boot that money can buy, look at a motocross style boot. These dual sport boots may look like those boots, but they are not even close and don't have anywhere near the same amount of technology. They are usually stripped down versions that use a lot of leather and they look nice, but most of these boots offer little to no support. They do all right in protecting your shins and your skin from minor cuts and abrasion, but as far as protecting your bone, muscle, ligaments, they do pretty much nothing. I had made a video a while back about the O'Neill Sierra Pro. It was one of the cheapest dual sport boots that I could find, and don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed them, but I was aware of the protection that they offered. When I'm going on more casual dual sport rides, I like hopping off of the bike, going on a hike, and motocross boots just don't fit the bill for that. So the O'Neill Sierra Pro was a great boot for that. Did they hold up well over time? Not really, but for the money I didn't expect them to. With a little over a year of riding, the sole started to delaminate, and I could have fixed it with a little bit of glue, but I ultimately made the decision to just retire the boots and move on to something different. So I'll start off by saying this and my approach towards boots. I throw on a pair of boots based on the riding that I'm going to be doing. If I'm just hopping on a bike and going for a ride, I don't want to wear a big clunky boot, because as mentioned, I like to get off and hike around, and another solution to that is just carry another pair of shoes with you. In good weather conditions, a nice pair of hiking sandals are super compact and a nice option. I recently got into a pair of Bedrock sandals and they are game changers and so small and slimline and easy to throw in a pack, so that is a good option as well. But don't buy into the marketing gimmicks. The dual sport and adventure boots just don't offer much protection. Thankfully, there are a few brands that are offering a really high quality, high performance, adventure oriented boot. So let's go ahead and talk about what I'm currently running, which is the Garnier Fastback. This is the Enduro model, so it has the Enduro sole. It has some heavier lugs on the bottom, good for traction. That's what originally drew me to the boot, and the fact that I had the SG12 motocross boot in the past, and it's by far the best quality boot on the market. They're Italian made, they're squeaky, they're covered in plastic, but they offer the most protection out of any other boot. They use the classic metal toe guard, which I prefer. They are resolable like a traditional work boot, so you can send these in, get them resoled. I beat the hell out of my SG12s, and I actually ended up reselling them. They hold their value really well because I found this. Now this is the perfect balance for me. The SG12 is meant for people at the highest level of competition, and while I still do ride hard enduro sometimes, this boot offers plenty of protection to keep me safe in those conditions. It is a similar design. As you can see, they use this nice, real, full grain leather. I do recommend treating this. I use Obanov, so I'll link some down below. But largely, this gives me a lot of the confidence that I had with the SG12, but with more flexibility. They still use that patented hinge, which I've come to love, offers a bunch of flexibility, yet still protects you side to side. Another thing that I absolutely love is the buckles that they use. I feel like Garnier uses one of the best buckle systems. I've never had one fail, although they are replaceable, and even when they're caked up, they just work. Some of the adventure boots only have 2. These have 4 buckles. Doesn't bother me because they work so well. They're easy to put on, and I can put them on fairly quickly. Another thing with riding is you want things to be convenient. If it takes 20 minutes to put on a pair of boots, you're probably not gonna wanna wear them. I had an old pair of Alpine Star Tech 3s. The buckle system was absolute trash. Towards the end of their life, I literally had to have someone stand on my buckle to get it to clasp all the way. These things are amazing. I have about 100 hours on these boots, and they're there's still no significant marking on the soles or any tears of that matter. They have a really nice burn guard up here at the top on both sides. They use a stickier rubber insert here on the ankle that gives you some grip. The whole toe box is covered in TPU and most of the lower of the boot. There's a lot of adjustability in this boot as well. These upper two clasps, you can actually adjust the position. So if you have a skinnier calf or if you have a really thick calf, you can fine tune these things to fit you better. These are a wider fit. I've always been told that I've had a narrow foot, but with the adjustability, I've found that I actually enjoy how wide that they are. It gives my foot enough room to breathe, doesn't cramp my toes, and I wear barefoot shoes on a casual day, so I kind of like the wide toe box. On both of the boots, you do have this little rubber grip for shifting. Don't know why they have it on the brake side, but just add some extra protection. I love the Enduro sole. It definitely makes a difference. So if protection is your #1 concern, but you still want a little bit of flexibility, these things are money. If you want the utmost protection, I recommend the SG12s. I know a lot of people like the CDs as well, but I've had a couple pair of these now and they've done me well, so I'm gonna continue using them. But the price can be out of reach for many. I think these are priced at like $450 right now. So if you can't afford something like this, but you still want protection, look for a mid-level motocross boot. The updated Alpinestar Tech 3 is a good option. Tech 7 if you can afford it. The biggest downfall of those boots for casual riding is the stiffness, the sole. They're not good to walk in, but they will keep you protected and they will last a long time. Garnier offers a less protective balance boot. I think it's more geared for trials riders. It's something that I might try out for a more casual boot for when I want to walk farther and don't want to be constricted in these things. I feel like they're only getting better with time, and after another 100 hours, they're going to be that much more broken and that much more comfortable. If you guys have any other suggestions or input on this topic, drop it down in the comments below. At the end of the day, it's all about protecting yourself. The more time you spend hurt, the less time you spend on your bike. Like I said, all of those dual sport adventure boots, they just don't have any ankle protection. They're mostly leather and offer the same amount of stability as a common work boot. I'm not telling you what to do. You'll still find me riding in tennis shoes sometimes. It just depends on what I'm doing. You never know, you can drop your bike at any time. Well, Charlie the Chipmunk can run out in front of you and distract you, and you can end up on your side in flip-flops with bleeding toes. So pick your battles, weigh your options. Life is a gamble. Ultimately, just enjoy your time riding your dirt bike. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little gear review video. I get a bunch of questions about the stuff that I use, so I will continue to be uploading these. Subscribe if you're new, turn those notifications on, and always remember to live free and adventure daily. After owning some of the most expensive, flies out here driving me nuts, dude. Oh.